Hello. We've been talking about the need in Canada, especially among the French Francophone population. We talked about the Maritimes and Western Ontario, Northern Ontario. And today we have with us Paul Tétreault. And hi, Paul.
Hi, Gary.
Hey, you're from Quebec. Tell us a bit what you do as your role in the District of Quebec.
So I'm the assistant to the superintendent for the District of Quebec, and my main role is about coming alongside all our credential holders, giving them support through coaching, mentoring, just coming alongside. I oversee all ministries in the district, including church planters, church planting in French and English. I work with Johnny Palto at that level. I'm not an expert. I'm just there to help and give support and oversee all the ministries, youth ministry and some others in the province of Quebec. But basically, coming alongside the workers, giving them support through coaching and mentoring.
So, Paul, you and I have known each other quite a while now, over 40 some years, I think, or close to it, 38, 40 years we've worked together. And I don't know how you stay so young, buddy. You just seem always to be a young guy. So you know a lot about Quebec. You've been here, you've dealt in many areas. And so tell me a bit about Quebec. Talk to us about Quebec, French, English.
Well, Quebec is a beautiful place, of course, and it's a mission field, as you know, and so it's a mission field where I grew up as a Christian kid that was evangelical Protestant as a French-speaking family. So I was really the odd person in my neighborhood, and so in the Catholic neighborhood, French-speaking in Montreal, on the South Shore of Montreal. And at the same time, I was sent to an English elementary school that was Protestant, and I was French and non-Catholic. So they brought two teachers from Europe for us. So I had an English environment for my schooling and teachers that were French, teaching me French in an English school. So they didn't know what to do with us that were, French-speaking non-Catholics back in the 70s. And so I grew up in Quebec with that reality and, got to know the people with whom I interact all the time.
So tell me a bit about the spiritual receptivity, if you want, to the gospel in the province, in your opinion.
It's changed in the last 5 years. I think so. Unless you have a good relationship and you're close to people and you kind of become friends with people, if you say to someone that you're a Christian, it might turn them off. So one of the ways I get to share my faith is going on a golf course. I go alone. I meet with three other strangers in a foursome. And usually, what do you do in life? And that's each summer. I do that. And so I'll say, well, I coach and I mentor, but in a different field. And they'll say, what field? Religious field. And so basically what it does, one time out of two, it opens the door or it closes the door. So anybody that's interested and curious about it will ask questions, and then it might go even to the point where I'll share the gospel. And some other times it just shuts the door and we just talk about anything but not that. So that's the response I have from people that I go play golf. And usually these are professionals, semi-professionals people. And so sometimes they're very open, sometimes they're closed.
So willing to speak about spirituality, but not willing to speak about religion.
Exactly. There's an open. They want to hear my testimony. When I lost my daughter to cancer a few years ago, that would open the door. Like they want to hear how I dealt with it emotionally, spiritually, and they will accept my testimony. But if I come and invite them to the church, to a meeting, whoops, then the door closes, unless there's that good relationship of trust that's been merit with the person.
Yeah. So in your role as the one of the district leadership team, so what is the District of Quebec doing to reach out to the province of Quebec to seeing people come to know Christ?
Well, basically, it's every church. Of course, we have over 100 churches in Quebec, and we're a bilingual district, so about 80 are French churches. And so the being a mission field, it's in the heart of every Christian in Quebec to share their faith. There's a need for it because we're so few. And so really in the district through our credential holders and the work of the church, it's trying to be healthy, just be healthy Christians. so you have a healthy lifestyle, and that you can be the light and the salt, and just be that witness to people around us in our neighborhood, at work, with our friends. And so just having that impact of health, spiritual health, emotional health, and being able to share the gospel from that perspective, I think that's the most effective way to share the gospel with people. And when we are in that state or that position, we most of the time, people do not reject our testimony, or they might not accept the gospel, but they won't be aggressive towards it if we come from that perspective.
And you know, your role, as you mentioned before, about working on mentorship and supporting the workers, that's really something great that the district's doing. Can you tell us a bit more about that, how you're supporting the actual credential holders, the pastors?
Yeah, basically what we do is anyone that comes into ministry for the first time as the senior pastor goes through our mentoring program, where for a full year they will have support through a mentor each month that will follow them through the whole program that we have, which is 3 residents or 3 days. And we talk about all the real issues. And so it's about being vulnerable, truthful about our issues as leaders, as a person, even our couple, everything. We touch everything through a whole year with the mentor, and we go as far as the person wants to go. But we put a culture where we can be vulnerable and real, and deal with ministry effectiveness, of course, but also our own effectiveness as a person in our whole being. So we give that support through coaching, coming alongside our workers for ministry effectiveness, and we come through the mentoring, just the whole package of who we are as workers to be healthy.
Oh, that's really good. And I did mention the fact that you and I have been working together a long time, because both you and I know that the number of Christians in Quebec, in comparison to the total population, is very, very low. You and I know there's such a need here in the province of Quebec. And suppose somebody today is saying, boy, I'm seeking the Lord to know where God might be calling me. And he might be considering, or she might be considering, a ministry other than pastoring, maybe pastoring as well. What type of opportunities of ministry would we have here in the province of Quebec, like church placement, or even talk to us a bit about church planting?
Yeah, one of the good things I do, and what I do is with Paul Tétreault, our Secretary Treasurer for the District of Quebec, we oversee church planting. So what's good about church planting is that we have a system, even in French, to give support to the workers as they feel the call to plant a church. And so we have an assessment process. We have mentors and coaches for our planters. And so anybody that feels the call to plant a church in Quebec, we do have a way of coming alongside and giving that support that's needed, and to go through it. Even financially speaking, we case by case, we look at it and we give the support. Of course, Quebec, the need of Quebec for church planting is huge. And it's not only in French, it's also English. Montreal,
Yeah.
there's so many churches that needs to be planted again in different communities. So the need for church planting in Quebec is huge. We are a mission field, as everybody knows. Less than 1%, well, a bit over 1% attend churches, but basically through my own assessment, I think more like 3% of the whole population of Quebec have an openness to the gospel, understand what the gospel is, might not be practicing as Christian, evangelical Christians, but they understand the theology of who is Christ as a Savior and Lord and Savior. So there's maybe 97% of the population that really have no clue of the gospel, no clue of what the gospel is all about. So that's a mission field. And so church planting is the way that the Lord has given us to share the gospel, and to have more churches, to be healthy communities that are everywhere in Quebec. So the need is huge for people that feel the call as church planters, or being part of a team that will come and support a planter in French or English in Quebec.
Talking about support, Paul, I'm going to end with this in our conversation. Thanks for everything that you've shared. We've had many partnerships over the years between church to church partnerships, and we're still open to do that in the province of Quebec. And how do you see that helping if a church wanted to partner with a church in Quebec?
Well, there's church planting every year in Quebec. Like we have new plants every year, so French or English, and these new plants need a partner in Canada because when you have a small French community of 30 adults and they're planting a church, to have a church outside of Quebec, English or French, that's sometimes our people are bilinguals in the leadership. They can partner together and give that support in prayer, in relationship, even financial help. And there's that commitment. Oh, there's something bigger than who I am. We're in my community there. We're part of a big fellowship, and there's a church in Alberta that's helping us. And it just ministers so much to a church in Quebec to have those partnerships. So partnerships is a great way of supporting our church planters and church plants.
So I'm going to put on the end of this video today how they could contact you, Paul. That's great. If people want to contact you directly, that's good, or through me. And so, hey, thank you very much for taking the time today to be with us. And any last words before we close off?
Anyone that feels the call to pray for Quebec, we need your prayers. Anyone that feels called to support financially one of our church planting initiative, please do contact us. We need the help. And we have a big task here in Quebec.
Oui, monsieur. Alors, à la prochaine.
Hey, it's been a pleasure.
Blessings to you.
Blessings.